Hey, this is Anthony from the Best in the West. We got a special video for you. This is a DIY or a how-to. Normally, I would never encourage people or mislead them and tell them to try. Concrete's not generally a DIY situation. You need heavy equipment. You need guys like Javier and this guy helping him. These are like, Javier's got 30 years experience, 35. This is a stepping stones that you could make. It's just a square. You just got to get it square. And these are glow in the dark rocks, flakes that I put in this. So if you want to make stepping stones decorative, and I think the sand, there's glow in the dark sand too. This company, I'll leave the link in the description, sent me these glow in the dark products that worked really good. They illuminate really nice. And they charged really quick. One day in the sun and at night, bam, you'll see it. So I was doing another pour. There's the products right there. There's 16th inch, eighth inch, quarter inch, half inch rocks. And then there's flakes and sand. And the sand or the rocks, I believe you can make a stencil and you could have a design too. Or if you like made a birth date with a stencil, or if the day you poured it and did your baby's hands or kid's feet, you could put this in it too, or the whole stepping stone. Either way. So I'm doing a different job here at my house. I'm doing a sidewalk anyway. And this is when I read the directions, you have to put a retardant on this, and then you seed the rocks inside of it. Excuse me, on top of it, and then you wash the retardant off. Which the retardant I use takes about a 16th of an inch off the top. Which, in my opinion, I would have used sugar and water next time because I wanted to etch it deeper. You can use probably a number 15 top cast, or sugar and water. Soda would work really good because it'll take off the cream deeper than what I did, because I did it and it was a 16th, and a lot of the rocks I didn't get exposed, or a lot of the stones I did. These are glow in the dark rocks, sand, and flakes. So you could get whichever design you want. All three of them were about equal. I like the eighth inch rocks the best. They look like cut glass. They look the best. And when you expose the sand with the retardant after you set them on top of it, it exposes it. So you want it a little deeper. I'm pouring a sidewalk here, and then I just made these boxes, three of them for samples. I'm going to use them, but if you're doing a DIY, this is a no-brainer. You just got to square a square, pour concrete in it, and then when you edge it and you trowel it, you set the rocks in, and you just tap them and barely trowel them in there. We could have put plastic on the ground or whatever, but it really didn't matter because I'm redoing all the grass and everything, so it was insignificant. But if you're going to DIY it and you're going to move them, you could put plastic down, then set this box on top, and then just wait till it starts going off and do all the procedures of the concrete, and then set the rocks on it. You'll see how we do it. But you have to use a retardant to expose them, which means you need to take a layer off of the cream and etch it to expose the rock. Because when you trowel them in, a lot of them get buried. This is a 3,500 PSI city mix that I was using on a sidewalk. But you could use bag concrete and then probably the red bag to put on top so the top finish is really nice. There it is. There, not much to it. We're just edging it, getting it ready to go. But these stepping stones look really cool. It's definitely a DIY that people can do. It's not like a patio with you need skill and elevations and water drainage and stuff. You just got to make them flat, just like he's doing here. You just need a couple tools, an edger to edge it if you want to make the edges look nice. So when you take the forms off, the stepping stones look nice, and a trowel. Just like that, a wood float. And the broom won't work on it. You have to wash it with a retardant. But you can use sugar or soda or whatever you want. So if you're going to use sugar, use 1 pound of sugar per 1 gallon of water, or just get Dr. Pepper or Coca-Cola and shake it up and spray it on it. Let it sit on it. If you're doing it in the summer, you can let it sit there 3-4 hours and then hose it and broom it. If it's in the winter, just do it, hose it the next day. It's all a timing issue, but you can't really screw up on a DIY stepping stone. You just want to expose the glow in the dark rocks and flakes and sand. There's 3 different things that you can get. I'll leave the link in the description. They're pretty cool. They worked really good, and when you look out there at night, they're glowing. They have like blue and green ones, whichever colors you want. Emerald, I think, one color, another is jade. See, it's starting to stiffen up on him, so he's got a steel trowel on it now. But if you try and broom this or anything, it won't really expose the rock. You really got to put a retardant on it to wash the top off to expose the glow in the dark stuff. And if you want designs, just make a stencil and set it down in there when the concrete's getting closer to being finished, and then just sprinkle it in the stencil, whatever pattern you want. But this is definitely a DIY or how-to that anyone could probably do. You just need a few tools that you can readily available at Home Depot or wherever. You don't need a whole bunch of stuff. And you just got to square the box with the, you could measure diagonal or do the 5-4-3, whatever method you want, or a square in the corner just to get the box square. And then you strip the forms off the next day, and there's your stepping stone. And if you don't want to move it or anything, maybe just set them in the spot where you're going to put them. So here's some of the glow in the dark here. So you just set it on there. There's no bad way to do it, wrong way to do it. You just put it in there. That's me and Loverboy. I'm right there on the left, sprinkling that on there. And then Javier is just going to barely trowel it in. That's the sand. I'm just sprinkling it in there any way you want. I did 3 different ones. I did the smaller rock, the bigger rock, the sand, and then the flakes on the perimeter on another one. But it all glows really nice. So you could do it any pattern you want. And if you want to get the rock, get the rock. They have different sizes. If you want the flake look good too. That's what he's putting around the edge right there. And then there's glow in the dark sand. You can use glitter too and throw it in with it, and it'll sparkle like diamonds during the day, and at night with the lights. With these glow in the dark stuff, the glitter will glow with it. I didn't use glitter, but I have done it before. And like I said, there's however you want to design it or sprinkle it, the glow in the dark products, you can do it any way you want to. Like if you want to do your kid's birthday or footprints or whatever, you could make a stencil and just sprinkle it in that too. So the year lights too, or anything you want, the perimeter, any way you want to do it. There's no wrong or right way. It's however you want to design it. Well, it's definitely a DIY project if it's something you want to tackle to do with concrete. Generally, I would highly advise people against trying to pour concrete patios or driveways or porches. It's not, you need a lot of experience and a lot of equipment. But with stuff like this and the way the market is right now, it's a tough market, housing market, California. The work's tough, and you want to make some stepping stones. This is definitely inexpensive. You just need some bags of concrete and some 2x4s and an edger and a float, hand float. And then just use the soda on it to expose everything. Some of these I mixed all 3. Some of the rock, some of the sand, some of the flake. So I did 3 different ones. And don't forget to check out my amazing video assistant, Sydney Ray 05 on Instagram. She is the media assistant that brings all this together for me. So you guys could check it out. So Javier, see, just tapping this in there. You don't really like finish it like you're troweling it really hard to finish concrete. You're getting it just pushed down in there enough. And then once he gets it down below the surface, he can shape it a little nicer with a steel trowel. Not too much, just to make it look nice. And run an edger around the edge. Because the edges are going to be exposed when you take the 2x4s off. So there it is. There, it's getting close now. And at the end, I'll give you a night shot, and I'll put the link in the description. The description and the link, excuse me, when I where you can get this product at. They're out of Michigan, I believe. They just sent it to me and called me. It was pretty cool. I get a lot of collaboration, at least 5 or 10 emails a day. I normally do e-bikes, but I saw this glow in the dark, and I did. Roseboro Tools used to carry glow in the dark glass, and I did it a few times. So I wanted to do it, and they hit me up with this, and I'm like, yeah, I'll do it, because Roseboro doesn't carry that glow in the dark glass. It was discontinued. So this is a pretty cool look. A lot of situations you could use it in. And always check out Sydney Ray 05 on Instagram. I'm on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube under the same handle, West Coast Custom Concrete. I'll be putting some more beautiful concrete jobs up. This is a good depiction of a real concrete channel and everything I do, the variety, how diverse it is, steps, floating steps, J-ditches, benches, sand wash, stamp, whatever you want. This is a custom channel. It's a real concrete channel. No smoke and mirrors. So he's just hitting it good enough to make it look nice. You don't have to push too hard because then you get it all wavy. So just have a light hand on it when you're using the float on it or the hand trowel and the edger also. You just want to get a nice rolled, nice edge. So when you pull the form, it doesn't look all wavy and jagged. You don't have to have a crapload experience. You can definitely DIY this. This is a good how-to. And you could do the boxes separate. I just didn't have enough 2x4s there to do 3 separate boxes the way I was going to do it. I didn't realize it because I was pouring another job, and then I had this product and I've been meaning to do it. So I just had Javier throw these boxes together. And you always have extra concrete when you are on a job, a half yard or a yard, if not more. So you could, if you're pouring something else on your property and a professional's doing it, you could do these boxes and do them as many as you wanted, these stepping stones, because you're going to order extra concrete. I'd use a pea gravel mix though on these, because if you wash it a little deeper, it'll expose a little bit of the aggregate, natural aggregate that you have in the mix, the 3/8 pea gravel with your aggregate glow in the dark stuff you put. So he's just making sure it's all finished up there. Just keep a light hand on it, not too heavy. But you could use glass. You can use stuff from the Goodwill, like beads. You can put anything in it you want, and use a retardant and wash it. But if you want glow in the dark, this is a real cool product. That's the retardant we're using there. That's a top cast number 3. A number 15 would expose more because it exposed a little aggregate and the sand. But this came out really cool, and that's the retardant I was using number 3 on my own sidewalk. So this is how you have to do it. You don't have to use this product in particular though. But if people are advising you and telling you DIY concrete, they're generally misleading you. But something like this is legit. You could definitely do it. Just finishing up spraying this stuff. I just use Coca-Cola or Dr. Pepper and spray it up. And you're going to get the money shot coming up here. I washed it the next day because it was kind of overcast. If it was a month or two prior in the sun, I would have washed it 2 hours later. So if it's hot out, you can spray the sugar water on it or the soda and wash it 2 hours later. This is the next day because there's an overcast on it. I wanted to make sure it etched it deep enough. At any house, these would look awesome, these stepping stones with the glow in the dark. So when you pull up or you're walking in your backyard, you have like a little walkway of them. They're all glowing. I'm using a wire brush on the ends on some of it because I can see that it didn't etch it deep enough in some areas. So I'm trying to expose more rock. That's a wire brush. And we scrubbed it pretty good. It came off pretty good. Generally, when you wash this stuff the next day, it's hard to get that white cast off. And if you have a pressure washer, it'll come out perfect the next day. But these were just DIY how-to stepping stones that I was just messing around with because I wanted to check the product out and see what it looked like and stuff, and how good it glowed and how to go about it. That's what it looks like during the day, which looks pretty nice. So it looks like exposed glass in it, colored glass. See, there it is there. And if you use soda or you use sugar water, you just hose it and broom it same way. Unless you have a pressure washer, and maybe if you have a little wire brush too for some areas on the edges and different areas to expose it a little bit better. Because the objective is to show the glow in the dark, but have a nice finish on the stepping stone also. You always want to achieve that. So there's the way I threw it in there. And like I said, There's no bad way to do it. You can do it any way you want. And there's a night shot, how it glows in the dark. It's pretty cool. When I look out my window at night and I see those, they look awesome. Thank you very much. I hope you enjoyed the video. And if you want to try a DIY glow in the dark stepping stones, I hope this video helped you. That's only one day in the sun. So it got brighter and brighter and brighter the older the stepping stones were. It illuminated nice. Thank you very much for watching The Best in the West.